Jimmy Walker,
Mm.
number one pick.
Yep.
Your biological father, you never met him. The number one pick in 1967. What impact did that have on you growing up as a kid? Growing up as a kid that played basketball, to know my father is the number one pick, but I never had the chance to know him, yet I'm essentially walking in these footsteps. Like, it's just in me. Like, what impact? Because that's like, having dad issues is one thing, not meeting your father is a totally different thing. We know the traumas that come with that. But to actually walk in that light and say, no, I'm a basketball player. I'm from Detroit. Mm-hmm. Basketball is a big thing. I'm chasing this dream. Oh, and by the way, my father was a number one pick, and I don't even have a chance to talk to him, meet him. What impact did that have on me?
A lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment, because a lot of times you start to think, he don't want to meet me. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then it's when I'm at St. Cecilia and people are referencing him and showing him love, but I'm standing next to my mother who just brought me there, and we're poor and they talking about him. I resented that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
It became where I never talked about him. When I was very young, I used to carry his basketball card, and I used to take it to the park and be like, oh, this is my dad or whatever. And then as I started to get like in middle school, and you know, kids say mean things. And so having his name, the first thing a kid would do when they try to joke on me was act like JJ from Good Times was my father.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? To try to disrespect me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't know your father. Jimmy Walker. No, he's JJ from Good. So that used to be fist fight right off.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And as I started to get older, I was like, he was my inspiration to follow in his footsteps, but he was also my motivation that he was going to learn my name one day. Mm-hmm. And when I got to high school and he wore 24 when he played with the Pistons, I purposely picked number 42 because I'm like, I'm going to be the opposite of how he was with me.
Wow.
And so that was my number in high school, out of spite, literally. And so once I got to college, and I'm not mad at Mitch Albom now, but as I look back at it, I'm disappointed in he literally gave me a letter as he was writing the Fab Five book the night before we played the national championship game. And I had never met my father. He gave me this letter because he had just talked to him for his book. And so I remember just sitting there staring at this letter. Ain't no excuse, by the way. We got waxed. And, I ain't got no problems talking about bad games or whatever. But I just remember, like, thinking about this years later and understanding that this has such a profound impact on me that I kept that letter for like 7 years with me and never even opened it. Wow. Like Linus in a blanket on Charlie Brown. Like, I just kept it with me, just always in my bag, always with me, always with me. And then after we made the finals when I was in the league, and after I got paid and I won Most Improved, I was like, nah, I'm ready. And I remember being at Dale Davis' crib. They was in the front playing poker. And I went in the back in his bathroom and I opened the letter and I read it. And there was a number on there and I called him. I'm like, I'm about to call him right now. And the first number, he wasn't there. They gave me a second number. Second number wasn't there. I ended up talking to like his sister, and she was giving me some game about him, some good game, some bad game. Good game, he's a great man. He would love to meet you. It's all, he whatever. Then there was some dubious things like he had 13 kids by 11 women and da-da-da-da. So it was all types of like just. And so I finally got him on the phone. First thing I told him is I loved him. I thanked him for the genes. I thanked him for the inspiration. And I told him I ain't got no hard feelings. I made it. And however the journey took us, this is how God meant it to be. And so I want to meet you. I want to celebrate you. I want us to be able to start a relationship. And the crazy thing about this, Day, a couple of years go by. I'm playing in the league. I'm working in the media. I'm talking to him on the phone in like 2007. And I'm like, I'm coming to see you this summer. He died before the playoffs ended, and I got a chance to see him. I believe he died, like I was working the finals, as you know, and I was going to go see him like in July. And I believe he died before I got a chance to actually go see him. But I did go to his funeral with Dave Being. And for all you youngsters out there that's having a lot of babies and choosing not to be in their lives, let me tell you something. His funeral was the coldest thing you ever want to see. It was like, I'm not making this up. It was like in a cafeteria, and it was like 30 people there. It was so chilling. I was like, yo, whoa. I was like, I'm just dropped to my knees and just like ask for forgiveness to any of my sins, because whatever this is, I don't want this.
This ain't it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have an infant have a funeral and it could be hundreds of people there. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that experience did teach me a lot, but being a part of the NBA family and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coming up to me, talking to me about, hey, I went to your grandmother's house. She cooked real good. I used to hang out with your dad or whatever. And Clyde Frazier telling me stories and Jerry West telling me stories and stuff like that. I appreciated how they still treated me, those OGs, like I was in the family then, even though I wasn't. Mm-hmm. Because I was deep. Blood.
That's deep, man. That's deep. Wow. You know, I've had my little fair share of dad issues. And when you're going through it, nobody talks to anyone. And so until you start talking to someone, you realize, yo, it's so many more people going through this same thing. But when you're going through it by yourself, it feels like you're the only person got that issue.
Correct.
And I applaud you for your approach to be man enough to call him and say, man, I ain't mad at you. I love you. Like, and I appreciate you. That's so powerful. What I will say to people out there is, if you having those issues, talk to somebody. Yep. You'll be very shocked on the guy that you talk to next to you got the same issues.
Yep. And also,
the same exact issue.
But also, here's the other thing I want to say. You don't realize how much anxiety and pain and hurt that you have from that. So if you can fix it, do it. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Like, there's certain relationships that for whatever reason that just you can't repair. But if you can fix it, do it.
What's up, everybody? It's Draymond Green. Make sure you subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel below so you don't miss any more of this great content going forward.